TV.
Well, 20 minutes to the top of the hour, 8 a.m. We will continue here with Affairs of Morning at NTV. I am Priscilla Regina Naloga. We start off our discussions by looking into the business arm that does affect the day-to-day affairs of the things that we do. Insurance for managing human capital risks. Now, the human capital attraction as well as retention challenges in the insurance industry intensified due to a combining effect of demographic, social, economic, and market-specific factors. In addition, there is human capital obsolescence in risk, and the insurance industry has long been in the business of identifying and evaluating risks as well as designing programs to effectively control and finance these very same risks. By managing the risks for others, insurance companies help individuals, later alone help keep them peace and give them peace of mind against risk, better balance their current and future consumption of wealth. And which better insurance company doing this in the market here in Uganda than UAP Old Mutual Life Insurance? I am joined by Joshua Kenna, who is the head of operations at UAP. Good morning to you, Joshua, and you're most welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about human capital risk management. When we hear those words, they're quite big, but for the conversation that's at hand, could you break them down?
Yes, thank you. So even before we talk about human capital risk management, we first of all look at the employment sector today. We're seeing emerging issues to do with higher demand for customers. Customers today have more options. So I could have a product with a service. That becomes a challenge to organizations. We're also looking at the world has become a global village. Our employees today, are they working locally? Are they working globally? Can they compete globally? But also the impact of technology today in the workplace today in terms of digitalization and transforming the whole of work today. And therefore, with such issues and emerging items in the employment workforce today, never time has human capital been very critical for the development of the sector. And in particularly, that leads now to human capital risk management. And why that is critical is that to the employer who is these organizations, they now must have to strike a balance between retaining top talent but also satisfying shareholders, that's profitability, and at the end of the day, how then are they able to compete in the marketplace. And therefore, human capital risk management focuses on ability to first of all identify the risks that are related to people. So these risks could be related to death, can happen, disability, accidents. We're seeing other emerging issues today, like the impact of COVID on employees, the challenges of wellness, financial wellness, could be mental. We're seeing other challenges like the work from home model today, issues of global competition, rising costs of inflation. These are real issues. So are we able to identify these risks? But then also, how then do we assess some of these risks? And then most importantly is to mitigate these risks that happen in the workforce. And if we're able to manage that, then we're going to ensure that we have a productive workforce, but then also organizations remain to be competitive. But just to add on something small, if we look at even our vision for 2040 as a country, government is focusing a lot on skilling to promote productivity. So today we are seeing questions being asked like, is there a problem with our education system? We're seeing government through Ministry of Education focused on reviewing the syllabuses, the curriculum. We're seeing now the private sector being involved in supporting skill development to our graduates. So all stakeholders are being called to help grow and promote skill development. So with such emerging trends, emerging challenges, never time has risk management become so critical for the success of the workforce to ensure long-term sustainability, but also in the short term of our shareholders.
And therefore, what importance is it in the current employment climate that we have right now?
Yes, in terms of our current employment workforce today, human capital risk management enables first of all us to retain employees, develop skills, but if we identify a lot of these risk exposures that organizations face, and if you look at things like the social responsibility as an employer, today the world has moved to environmental, social and governance aspects. So the social aspect of the employer towards the employees. Someone will say, but that's an employee, why must the shareholder be concerned? Like I said at the beginning, this employee focuses alone on success of the company and is a bridge to our customers. So you're looking at retention of employees, but also social responsibility towards these employees. And usually that comes in two facets. There's a part which we feel can be transferred to insurance, and we're looking at things which happen to life. Death happens, we can lose employees during their time working with us. Accidents happen to our employees, but also what we call the worry of retirement. People have worked for so long, and maybe after they've worked, there's nothing to show that they've worked. Do you just send away this employee? Do they give them a certificate? But it's a reality that we do actually face in life. And could give many examples. We have had accidents happening on the road. Maybe you're the main breadwinner in a family. Dreams of a family can be shattered and the family brought to his knees. COVID, just next door would hear another family has lost a loved one. Another person could tell you he has worked for long and there's nothing to show he has worked. No system put in place to support this employee after they've worked. And so when we manage those facets, either through insurance or even consultancy, we would have a thriving workforce. We're going to be able to promote productivity, but most importantly, retain our employees. And therefore, risk management particularly could be very beneficial to employers, but to help retain our employees in the workforce.
Okay, all right. So then when it comes to human capital risk management, how does this help organizations actually address skill gaps that could be existing, and maybe also the different things that you have mentioned non-existent in current companies?
Yes, and you're right, and that's where we're focusing on education and the masses, educating a lot of the masses. If you look at first of all, what can organizations do? It's a two strategic. We can look at the model in two ways. First is to look at insurance as a mechanism to have this risk transferred to an insurance company. And the second is to look at human risk management consultancy. They're actually experts who can help employers with emerging challenges of rising costs of inflation today, emerging challenges of managing productivity, work from life form balance, wellness, total employment solutions, things like benefit mapping, all those emerging issues that we do see in the workplace today. So those are real, and the statistics even to back it up. 2020, PricewaterhouseCoopers did share the Global Human Capital Report, and one of the things they were highlighting is that we can no longer focus on the human capital the way we used to do in the past. We must rethink our strategies to be in tandem with the rising challenges in the world today. But also of recent, the latest report released by the World Economic Forum called the Global Risk Report of 2023. Human capital is on the cornerstone of focus of the world today. And why? The impact of COVID has never before we've seen employees affected so much like before. Challenges of health, but also high cost of inflation that we have never seen in the last 10 years. And that becomes also a challenge for the workforce. It becomes a real challenge for employers. So with all these rising items, employers are able actually to benefit from risk management to help mitigate this risk, but develop strategies to be able to mitigate them and to enable long-term sustainability of the organization.
Okay, and with your current running clients, with UAP Old Mutual, how are you helping them with the human capital risk management? Yes,
so at UAP Old Mutual Life Assurance Company, we have come out with, first of all, we are handling the risk which can be transferred to an insurance company. And those are the real risks we face in life, risk of death, risk of accidents to our employees, but also challenges of preparing for retirement. At UAP Old Mutual, we have developed various solutions to both individual and corporate companies. But at corporate level, we have a number of products that can help employers actually mitigate these particular risks. The first is what we call a group life corporate cover. This is basically a solution whereby in case an employer lost an employee, a benefit can be paid to their family. It can be 1 year salary, 3 year salary, 5 year salary, and that is able to support this family following the death of their loved ones. But also not only do focus on that benefit, but it's also possible that as employees work with us, they can face life-threatening diseases like cancer, heart attack, stroke, which account to close to 70% of global life-threatening diseases. And we're able to actually support employees during that time, and are able to support employees with treatment, costs of treatment. Today, you see that's a big burden. Someone is diagnosed with cancer, and the question is, can we make contributions? Are the contributions even enough? Do we reach out to family? We can do a car wash, yet some of those could be managed by an insurance company. But also the second arm is also focus on building retirement, helping our employers set up retirement funds for their employees, and such that by the time they leave employment with the entity, they have some lump sum money set aside. But also, if they've retired, they can be able to use insurance as a cornerstone to prepare for retirement. So those are some of the solutions we've put in place to support our customers.
All right, thank you so much, Joshua Akena with UAP Old Mutual Life Assurance. And of course, you can reach out to their social media platforms for more information. We're going to be taking a short break. When we return, we're also going to be looking into the nuclear power in Uganda's electricity generation mix right now. Where does it stand, and how does it get to benefit you and me in the short and long run? Do stay with us.
You're watching Morning at